Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Oops, itchy nose. Sorry. It is what it is. I'm just a real person here, itching my nose. I drew three cards, three popped out of the Animal Spirit deck. It's an oracle deck. And the the image that I had this morning was sort of along the lines of the reading I did yesterday. I remembered when my daughter was tiny. I mean, she was 2 something, and I was brushing her teeth in the morning. I had to go to work. I was a student and also teaching classes at the University of New Hampshire. And so I was I had to get her to daycare and then drive an hour or so and be a student and a teacher. There was a lot on my plate. I loved it. I was happy as a clam. I like school. And so, I got to the point of brushing her teeth. And she wouldn't open her mouth. And my first impulse was just, I could feel the rage boiling up. And I kind of thought, what is this about, And I think it had to do with the fact that when I was a kid, those very basic, being helped by my mom or anybody to brush my teeth. It just didn't happen. And I was a kid, so, sometime I'd go in the bathroom and just wet the toothbrush. It wasn't as if anybody was checking anyway, but I wanted to go through the motions of without actually brushing my teeth. And I'd get to school and I knew it was gross. And so I'd pick my teeth with the cap of my pen and, it was just a crazy situation. So it was so important to me as a mom to be on top of that stuff. My kid had a bath every day. Sometimes with me when I got home from work, just beat, and we'd get in the bath together. But she was loved, she was clean, and by God, I was gonna brush her teeth. But then you're at this point of what do you do? Wrestle with your kid to get her mouth. She was little, but she had, again, agency to say, not doing it. So when I got to the university, I had free access to their mental health, services, which I had availed myself of. And so when I went into the session, I explained to the guy, I'm bent out of shape because I couldn't brush my kids' teeth. And I gave a little bit about the backstory of this, I was trying to provide to my child something that really hadn't been given to me. And what do I do when I'm in that position where I just don't know what to do? I'm so frustrated I could, my child, but I didn't. And he said, listen, you need to take a minute or, a few to mourn that. It may seem little, but it's not. Given where you're coming from and how you were treated as a kid and what you're trying to do differently this time with your child, you try to do it, you can't do it, they won't open their mouth, but so take a moment to mourn that. It makes you sad, it hurts. I thought that was great advice, and it's helped me subsequently. When you can't get in, and you can't wrestle the other person into doing it. And, but it really does make you sad. So that's where I started. Then I drew these 3 cards from this animal oracle. It's called Animal Spirit. It's called the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle deck. And I think I marked them. I hope I did, yes. Okay, the first one out was the eagle. Looks like this. And they have elements. This is an air element, like an air sign in tarot. You know, eagles seeing from above and so on. Its subtitle is All-Pervading Power, Truth Seeker, Transforms Karma. The noble eagle emanates the light of the sun. This great bird is both physically and spiritually strong and represents mastery over the elements of fire and air. When the eagle appears, you'll soon be thrown into the karmic fire for the sake of your transformation. The eagle pushes us to be our best and brightest selves and stops at nothing to see us shine. Grasp the sun in your talons and hold on for the ride. You are stronger than you think, eagle child. That it's a reference to the child. Because it's that inner child work, you know, when you're with your kid, all that stuff gets activated. Number 2 card out was another air sign, but this is the bat. Not the brightness of the sun, the darkness. Subtitled, Darkness, Letting Go, Death Leading to Rebirth. Before emerging, the bat waits for the sun to set and the moon to rise. In the darkness, it can see all that was invisible in the daylight hours. The bat is a master of the subtle senses, of the underlying forces that cause some things to prosper and other things to fade. The bat card shows up to signify the ending of a chapter, the closing of a door. The bat comes swiftly, encouraging us to move on. In just a few hours, a new day dawns. No more lingering in the past. And the last card out is the golden egg. This is sort of like the major arcana of this deck. The whole guide, you know, all of these are sort of a combination of like tarot, minor and major arcana. This is the major and this is a biggie. The golden egg. The golden egg and the 4th chakra, which is the heart. The subtle essence of the golden egg is nestled deep within the heart center at the 4th chakra. This chakra, called Anahata, is the home of the self or soul. By bringing the mind into this center, we discover a portal to the most intimate and luminous space. It is said our inner guide sits there in deep meditation, waiting for us. Anahata translates as the unstruck sound. You know, let's just take off from there, like the bat, like the eagle, in the dark, in the light. Or this sort of the jewel in the crown, this pearl of great price. Okay. Makes sense to me. Ooh, I just shuffled. You know what I'm not going to do? I just shuffled the 2 decks. So some are facing in, some are facing out. And I just think that's crazy. So I'm going to go for the bigger one. Same deck. Oh, there's one here though. Okay. One got left behind and it's King of Swords. Sort of that eagle energy. The Aquarian, or it's Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. I think the king is especially associated with Aquarius, but it's that bigger picture view. It's clarity. Air sign clarity. And that sort of phoenix energy of everything being burned away for your transformation. So it may be that the air sign, let's just shuffle, is undergoing some sort of enlightenment about their own powers, starting in the head, in the light, and then into the dark, where your echolocation kind of communication. You send out the message, it bounces off something, and that's how bats navigate in the dark, with sound, throat chakra. And that's sort of what this is. This is about speech and communication. So it's another kind of communication. Okay. Tell us about the golden egg. Magician. Another air sign energy of the manifester. So there's something in entering into the darkness that allows you to draw from kind of the well of source energy to bring something forth. And it involves a passage into sort of the dark night of the soul, you know, where you feel separated from the divine. I get quite pissed off when I'm in the dark night of the soul. You know, it's a tough energy to navigate. And you have to rely on that sort of extrasensory. It's not extrasensory because it's to do with the echolocation, but it's a wholly different kind of message that comes through. It's bouncing off something and coming back to you. Okay. Tell us about the bat, the darkness, the echolocation rats. Okay, first bottom of the deck is Lovers. Another air sign energy, Gemini. We've been getting this card a lot, as King of Swords. This can be a choice, the clarity to make a choice. You know, what do I match with? Who will match my energy and how will I match their energy? And it may be something you may be an air sign, or you may be dealing with an air sign. And you're trying to manifest, you know, okay. And another one we've gotten a lot lately, and this may be just a continuation of yesterday's. I mean, it's, you know, often we're just tapping into the same story from different angles, sort of prismatically, looking at it this way, looking at it that way. This is that impasse, that crossroads. Which way do I go? It's also a choice. Lovers is your choice. This is in the daily, navigating daily life. This is the archetypal energy of choice. It's no small thing. It's no small thing, this choice. Because one route, at least you think, one way will lead me to this, and the other won't. I'm not sure that's entirely a correct assumption, but that appears to be the assumption. Next card out, Ace of Pentacles. Which one will grow? Where's the potential for something real to grow? You know, it's already sprouting. It's in my hands. Where do I plant it? Where's the fertile ground? And I have to say, okay, I'll take that one too. This and that look similar to me. You know, that potential seed that's already sprouted and the potential for growth in this egg. It's still in the nest. It has yet to hatch. So much potential for brightness, for value. Pentacles speak to value. I mean, not monetary value, not usually the way I read it. It's heart chakra value. The potential for connection. The potential for connection. This yin-yang completion could be internal. Aces speak often to the self. It could be you yourself are this golden egg. You might think it's external to you, but it's inside you. You carry this in your heart. You carry it in your heart. Hangman. Sorry. Hangman is upside down. It's like this character is in a sling. Slings sort of tend to go like this. But this is coming to that point of stillness. Not moving at this point, but getting the enlightenment through non-action. And I'm reminded again of this is a card of a Pisces, water energy, to do with feelings. That heart-centered energy we were just talking about. But this is sort of like, one of the feelings might be to mourn the thing. You can't do anything more to change the situation. All you can do is get a new perspective on it. There's an epiphany here to be had, but not through action, through inaction. There was something about that, and I can't quite call it back yet, but something in one of the things we just read that spoke to, the pendulum has stopped swinging. I think it's time for somebody else to act, not you. It's on lovers. And there are rune symbols down here in the water. I think it's to get the message, to get the divination. At this point, isn't active. You just need to receive it, and it will speak sort of directly to your heart, perhaps not to your brain. And we get that over and over again. The brain is befuddled in the same way. In non-action, you can't rely on your brain to get you there. You can rely on your feelings, but only in the quiet, only when you've stopped. Stop, no more momentum. But epiphany. Tell us about, whoa, Nelly, Ace of Pentacles. Yeah. If this is a repeat too. Yes, it is. Oh my God. You should watch yesterday's reading if you haven't already. I think it's called In the Name of Love, Back Off. These two cards came out. This is the person left out, feeling abandoned, outside the door. Alone, in the cold, not able to act, shut out. That's on Ace of Pentacles. But so's this. Three of Wands. In the other reading, it was a card of waiting, not rescuing, but waiting. For the other person to do what they need to do. You're on the beach, you're ready to go. You'll swim out, but first you're waiting to see how they do. So in a sense, they may be at a crossroads, so are you. Waiting, waiting, waiting. On Two of Swords. it's also kind of like waiting to see. It's like you've asked the question, Two of Wands, which way? Which is the best approach? And the answer is, wait for it. You're not the active one this time. You're in Hangman energy. You've done what you could. It's like, when you're on a swing and you pump and you pump and you pump, learning how to pump as a kid, how to make it go on your own. You don't need to be pushed. You can do it yourself. But at some point, this is letting the swing stop. Just letting it stop. Kind of, and then what? And this is a card of, and then what? I've done what I can. I've taken the action I could. Now, what's coming toward me? What's coming toward us? Or toward them? Or is there really even a difference? Oof. Three of Swords. Two of Swords, Three of Swords. Three of Wands. 2 threes equals 6. This is a bizarre kind of numerology that I don't think most people subscribe to, but I like it. When you get 2 minor arcana right next to each other, 2 threes, 3 of Wands, 3 of Swords, add them together, they equal 6. 6 in major arcana happens to be Lovers, the card right next door, the Choice. So it seems to me the Choice, 2 of Swords, Lovers, because Lovers can be a choice too. The choice is, do I wait and see? Is this a heartbreak? What's coming at me? Have I manifested this yet again? Maybe through my impatience? Is this what's coming in? More of this, more of out in the cold? Or could this be a new beginning somehow? What's the heartbreak about, please? Spirit. 7 of Pentacles. It was something you invested in. Your time, your effort, your energy to grow something. And it had taken root, you see? That Ace of Pentacles, you were nurturing this growth. It took a long time. There's something to show for it, but the root system here is bigger than what's on top, which is always the case with established plants. First the root, then the apparent growth. It's a card of assessment. Like, I've put in this energy. What have I got to show for it? Perhaps heartbreak. Perhaps somebody was indecisive. Okay. Again, a repeat. 9 of Pentacles. In that same Pentacles energy, Earth energy. About what grows, what's real, what's valuable. This is a card of the self-sufficient person. Could be a Virgo. Virgos are all about growth. That's their earth energy, and it's, could be also a Capricorn, a Taurus. But it's somebody who's invested in themselves. And it may be that they were trying to grow something with somebody else, with an intention of giving. And at this point, after the heartbreak, the separation, 3 of Swords, it's been agonizing in air energy. Miscommunication, misunderstanding. Swords speak to knowledge and clarity and the ability to speak about it. Three of Swords, can't talk about it. It hurts. I'm not clear. All I can see is pain. The division. And it's in this blasted landscape. You know, the dead tree, the blasted ground. And it may be that somebody has decided to invest in their own growth. You know, to create an environment for themselves that feeds them. Because they weren't getting it from this situation. We do have King of Swords kicking it off, clarifying eagle. So there's something about renewed, because it's a phoenix reference, renewed clarity, having the fire to be reborn, to go into the light. I associate also swords, wands are about light, illumination, fire. And there was something in the reading about eagle reconciles fire and air energies. And that's pretty much what we have on the board here. Plus a lot of pentacles. 7 of Wands. There's a guardedness. You know? This person's looking away, is not to be distracted. Has put themselves kind of in an insular place. And I had written down here, well, two things, interesting. Hangman is reconsideration, looking at it from a new perspective. I'd also written down 7 of Wands, to stand up for yourself. That's a little bit like this. You know, it may be that this sort of insular bubble is what you need against all these other concerns to pull back into yourself. And it always interests me that she's looking away. She's kind of ignoring he, she, they, ignoring something. I think to regroup, to grow what she's able to for herself. He, she, they don't think this person was getting it from the external place. And you notice here, you know, insular, but there's this glowing light, the solar plexus, which is sun, right? Solar. Speaks to sort of like your individual fire energy that's about your purpose, yourself, your ego, not in the sense of like, it's all about me, but a little bit like that, because it's sort of like, this is my life force. You know, I'm going to protect it. And she's not like aggressing. You know, she's in a kind of meditative state. Like focusing on something other than these wands coming at her. Standing up for herself by sitting down. By being still. Okay. And protective against this. Almost protective against her own mind, her own memory of this injury. We have 2 7s. 7 and 7 is 14. 14 is temperance. Also came up in that other reading I keep referring back to. You know, a balance. How much do I invest? What is the energetic payoff for all the work and time I put into this? You know, I'm not chasing anybody around. I'm standing up for myself and my own, nothing's going to extinguish my fire. You know, somewhere in this mix, I've discovered that's of the utmost importance for temperance, for my own balance, my own sense of being able to know, you know, divine timing, like pentacles speak to time. This is sort of like stepping away, standing up for yourself. So I'd just like one or two more on the King of Swords eagle. What is this higher perspective? This air energy, clear thinking person who's taking the higher view, the eagle view, and is willing to burn away their own karma, you know, to get clear, you know, what can drop aside. I need to purify myself somehow. Tell us about, okay, this King of Swords. Okay, Pasa, healing, in sword energy, in the nest. Remember we had that egg, double egg image, the golden egg. The kind of what, the potential for what can happen when you heal, what can grow. But first, there is a time of stillness. Four of Swords, taking a time out. Not leaving the nest yet. Poised to. There's a heart there she's still tied to. It's like this isn't over. It's not over. But it's on pause. It's on pause. I think somebody really needs to heal both their deep feelings, their major arcana, Piscean, I'll get a new perspective, I'll figure out what I feel by being still. By being still. You know, I'll take that respite. To heal from Three of Swords, which is that's not nothing. That's something that really hurt. Really hurt. So King of Swords, I think, is healing their kind of ability to speak, their ability to be clear, their willingness to go through the fire. Phoenix-like, be reborn. Got to take one on the bat. Okay, supposed to cut the deck, split the deck. On the split, I love it, we have Fool. You know, the new beginning in fire energy. After the protective time, Seven of Wands. Assessing what's the value, what's the thing of value, what's the takeaway? The risk. And leaning into it. Not quite fully leaping yet, but poised and ready to. Other side of this split was Nine of Swords. This is causing some anxiety. You know, this is a card of like being up at night worried. Will this work? Am I thinking about this in the right way? It's all the questions we ruminate about before we take the leap. But it's sort of leaping despite the brain saying, you know, I'm worried, I'm freaking out, I don't know if I can do it. What will become of me? And there are all these confused messages coming in. There's one that's sort of ghost-like. One white crow, stand out, something's standing out. And it may be like messages that come through your dreams. This is sort of, and it's on next to bat. In traditional Rider-Waite, this shows somebody up at night in a sort of nightmare place of anxiety. When you're in the dark, what messages come through? You're kind of having to echolocate, which presumes there's somebody out there. You know, you're sending out the signal and waiting for it to bounce off something. What's the direction? Well, it starts with you. In your fire energy, taking the risk. Taking the risk, letting the karmic fire purify you. There's a wonderful Ram Dass quote about whether the fire purifies you or destroys you depends on who you think you are. Because fire does not burn itself. And in truth, you are the fire. You are the fire. Aries, fire sign. The leap, first card in the major arcana. The Fool's Journey. The willingness to risk it. Despite, you know, your mind saying, I don't know. It's dark. I don't know. You send out the, you know, your little beep, beep, beep goes the bat and figures out what's there. What's there? And there is a not knowing. You know, you got to sort of look before you leap, but even if you can't see it quite, you leap anyway. Let it begin. Let the games begin. You know, it's coming out of this non-action energy of Pisces. It's not non-action, but it's a stillness where you discover your feelings. And once you do, look at you go. Look at you go. Sorry. For this new life. Here's the beginning. Here's sort of like the reviving. That spectral person rising up, like the spectral crow, the one that was stand out among the messages. The prayer answered, the soft landing, and here we have Moon. Another card of Pisces, Cancer Pisces. You know, that deep dive, like being able to breathe underwater. You know, in a swamp, in a wave, in a sea of emotion. Moon card, you know, where you're drawn to and you're drawing to yourself. You don't know what exactly. It's coming up from the unconscious. Burning away old karma. It's a card of bravery in a willingness to deep dive. And then rise up for the new beginning. I mean, be brave. Because there will be this moment of like, what have I done? The brain rebels. But some part of you, your bat self, like, can navigate this. That's it, folks. Was it Porky Pig at the end of Looney Tunes? That's all, folks. Okay, till next time, please like, share, subscribe. If you haven't already, it helps circulate the channel. Till next time, love you guys.